Classic League Podcast time! Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 261 of the Classic Elite Podcast. My name is Scott. I've got Dustin with me. Dustin, what is going on, man?
I am day 3 into a 5-day PowerShell course.
Ooh. So what kind of things are you making your computer do at the hacker level?
Mostly throw error message.
Okay. Nice. A little expected.
I don't know. Most of the time I can't remember half the stuff that I learned.
So what, I guess, what would be the benefit? I do remember when Windows 10 was kind of rolling out that a big piece of news was that there was going to be PowerShell support, or that was still going to work. So can you walk me through like PowerShell 101?
So it's actually open source now. So it works on Mac and Linux. And it's just a really good tool for administrating, building scripts, remote administration, that kind of thing.
Awesome. Okay. Once you get to level 2, maybe I can piggyback a little bit. I would love to be able to fix what we do at work. And if I could deploy stuff, oh my god, that would be awesome. Or run scripts to take care of even just updates for like my dad's PC. Just you know, just little things like that would be cool. What prompted you to dig in?
My job was like, hey, do you want to get paid to go to school? And I was like, that sounds like an excellent opportunity. Yes, I would like to do that. And they're like, go. And I said, okay.
Hey, you have taken this route before and it's worked well for you. The Army was like, hey, would you like to get paid and then we'll let you go to school? And you're like, sure. Not really the same at all, but whatever.
This is much easier. I recommend this one.
Okay.
Not so much the other
one. So yeah, I guess unless you love the desert. Or no, you could go learn PowerShell in Arizona. So,
man, I was thinking, if I wasn't married and had 2 kids, I would totally go back in the Army and do like cyber intelligence, cybersecurity.
I'm very glad that you got married and had a kid, because I have a podcast co-host. So for very selfish reasons, I'm glad you didn't do that. Cool, man. Well, so outside of PowerShell, how has the week been?
Oh, that it's been good. I've just been completely worthless at home because my brain is burnt trying to drink out of a fire hose at this class.
Oh, I bet. You're like, wait a minute, we're the home row, or you know what I mean?
Yes. I somehow know less about computers now.
Right. Well, that's cool, man. That's been a good week. Me too. Nothing great to report. Nothing to complain about. However, one thing to complain about. So I ordered a little controller adapter thing that was shipped from China. And what showed up, I ordered this weeks ago, but that's understandable. It's China, right?
Right.
Off Amazon. China. And you really do have such a good Street Fighter 2 voice. It sounds like you put it through a filter. But an empty envelope showed up. I didn't even open it because I didn't want any ability for them to accuse me of taking the item out of the package. It's a completely empty envelope. And it was a piece of plastic. There's no way I should be able to bend it and fold it. When I saw what was in my mailbox, I'm like, what the hell is this? So Amazon luckily said that if the seller doesn't respond to me in a couple days, then they'll just give me a refund.
Cool.
I'm like, I'll send you the package so that you have... The last company I want to piss off right now is Amazon. I rely too heavily on them for material items.
Oh, speaking of spending money in different countries, I got a call that my debit card was being used in Brazil.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. And I was like, I haven't been to Brazil today. Please don't charge me that.
It's pretty incredible how good banking security on that front is, as far as the computers being able to know right away. I mean, at the time, it's seconds between an illegal use to you being notified and it being declined and not working. That's cool, man. That's a bummer that you've had to go through that. All those auto pays are now going to have to be updated.
Yeah, I don't think we have that many.
No, that's good.
I don't think.
I tried to set it up more on my checking account side where it just sends electronic checks.
Yeah, same.
But still, it's also easy to just grab my wallet and look at my card number sometimes.
Right.
Because my it's not trivial, or it's not swift to log into my bank.
Right.
I have a crazy password I got to look up, and I intentionally don't have it where I can access that easily. So anyways, let's talk about some video game news. Before we do, if you would like to join the podcast and interact with the news stories, give us opinions, talk about your favorite video games of all time. That was a really fun discussion last week. Join us, youtube.com/ClassicElite/live on Wednesday nights, and that is at normally around 8:15, 8:30 Eastern time. So, yeah. Let's talk about some crazy things in gaming news this week. I don't think we'll have a lot of discussion, but there's a lot of cool stories to cover. The first thing that I really wanted to discuss was the fact that The Witcher 3, which came out in 2015, outsold most games on Steam in 2017. No microtransactions. Just support from CD Projekt Red, and they had those 2 expansions, Blood and Wine and something else. But those didn't even come out in 2017. They just exist as other things to buy. And it's single player. There's no online. It's a little disingenuous, though, to act like The Witcher 3 could easily outsell a lot of games, but make way less money because of different transactions and whatnot.
Yeah.
However, still making a lot of money. Still doing a lot of sales and staying very relevant. And they're able to piggyback off the negative PR from Activision and EA right now. Have you ever tried The Witcher 3?
Not yet.
I think you would like it. You will not like the combat.
Okay.
But I think that you'll like the music and the world. The story is really fun. It has that Mass Effect kind of feel where you affect how other characters look at you based on the way that you interact with them.
Okay.
But it's not my kind of game, and I still finished it, right?
Yeah.
So, Witcher 3, congratulations.
And that's actually really good news, because it means CD Projekt Red is doing well. And that's actually the very last thing I put in the news.
Was that the beep?
Yeah.
So explain this to me, since we're on CD Projekt Red.
The Cyberpunk 2077 Twitter came to life today for the first time since 2013.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the only thing was, it was a tweet. It was a tweet, and all it says is beep.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
Let's see here. I have it open. Yeah, November 7th, 2013. And then today.
Yeah. That's cool. And it throws me off watching the Danny O'Dwyer documentary. It's pronounced Project or something like that. It's really, really tough. And now I'm conflicted. Now it confuses me. Do I just lean into the American accent, which I'm more comfortable with, and just Project? I think that's right.
Yeah.
And
yeah, definitely.
If somebody throws on a real proper pronunciation, it sounds a little try-hard when it's outside of your accent.
Yes, agreed.
It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
and I don't want to come across that way.
Like, Jeremy Parrish pronounces it anime. I was like, stop, Jeremy. Just say anime, dude. It's fine.
Right.
Just say anime.
You're American. It's acceptable. Yeah, or like if you hear someone say one of the like Pakistan, it can get real funky with a proper pronunciation. I'm like, what are we talking about? So next up, I'm very excited about this. The creators of Rogue Legacy, which, Kevin, I thought about you when I saw this. They're working on their new game. Did you get a chance to check out this article at all?
I did. The video looks really cool. There's a video if anybody's interested that shows gameplay. It looks like Rogue Legacy crossed with Alien Hominid crossed with Guardian Heroes.
Okay, yeah. Yes, that's a good... I won't even try to expand on that. And it's co-op.
Yeah, 4-player co-op, side-scrolling RPG element, beat-em-up shooter.
Yeah, they're calling it a co-op brawler, and Paul Tamayo over at or Tamayo. I'm not going to pronounce it right. Over at Kotaku wrote an article, and he says there's a certain kind of vibe that only good couch co-op can give, and I agree with that statement. Towerfall is an incredible game of recent that is amazing couch co-op. Emily is away, and Emily is away too. You gotta play couch co-op. Yeah, I think this is awesome. Cellar Door is the name of the company.
Okay, yeah.
I do remember that from opening that up.
I didn't mention the 4 players are classes. So they play differently depending on what you want to do. That's
cool. I wonder. I guess I didn't pay enough attention. I wonder if it'll be similar to like Gauntlet, where once one class is taken, the other can. The other person can't be that class anymore, or if you can't have 4 mages or whatever. There's probably a good gameplay structure that would incentivize you to not all play with one class. It's probably balanced enough that way.
Yeah.
Rogue Legacy is one of my favorite games. Just period. I love it. I've played through it on multiple. That turned out to be a great couch co-op game with my buddy John. He hates side scrollers because he's bad at them, and I'm like, just play this. And we did. I think together we put about 14 hours into that game.
Man.
And just hang out and play Rogue Legacy, and finally he beat it, and it was awesome.
That's cool.
It's cool because you decide when you have someone to choose the class that you want to play as next.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of fun. What are we going to buy? What's our strategy with the gold? Are we going on a gold run on this run, or are we going to look for a boss? Do we lock the level? It's cool to talk that through instead of just doing it on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to be called Full Metal Furies. So if it's a success, there will inevitably be immediate furry porn related to that with Full Metal Furies.
Probably already exists.
Well, it probably already does. So yeah,
I'm pretty sure all 4 of them are ladies. So
life finds a way, Dustin. So that's cool. Cellar Door making another cool game. So what do we have up here next?
The Razer gaming phone is getting even better. It is getting HDR and Dolby 5.1.
Which is for like Netflix and stuff.
Yeah. So we're getting closer to having set-top boxes in our pockets.
Yeah, and also related to this, there's Razer also, we've seen a bunch of these before where the phone becomes a laptop.
Mm-hmm.
But they have a really cool form factor and placement for the phone in a laptop. And these kind of specs are actually, I don't know, it's not crazy to expect to do some light productivity on these things anymore.
Yeah.
With how powerful Chromebooks and whatnot are. It's not that nuts to see. Think of Android and a desktop environment.
Yeah.
But the phone on this little, like, super thin laptop thing, the phone would plug in where the trackpad goes. It like sits flush into the system, and I think the phone turns into a trackpad in a way.
Oh man, that phone will be so filthy.
Seriously? You don't think it's already super... It's going to get more filthy being in a laptop holder?
I keep my phone pretty clean, but...
You sound like Brad Shoemaker. You'd think you keep your phone clean.
Like, I regularly...
Get a Q-tip and some agar in a Petri dish. And wait a week, and you'll see how clean your phone is.
Like, I have before taken my protector off and like washed it in dishwater.
Yeah, and 5 seconds later, when it's in open air, that's got bacteria everywhere.
Oh yeah, I'm much less concerned with bacteria than I mean, like I do IT. I touch like filthy keyboards all day.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about germs.
Okay.
I don't like my screen being smudged, really.
Oh, okay, that's fair. All right. I apologize. I did not mean to assume you were a germaphobe.
No, because like my phone goes with me everywhere. Bathroom. Solomon gets it. You know, God knows what he's doing.
Right. He's a child. Like bacteria hits the lottery when they land on a child. Yeah, that's. I can see where you're coming from. I guess my concern would be. I'm so used to the way that there's kind of a soft but rougher surface, if that makes any sense, on a traditional trackpad. I don't think I would like the glossiness of it. I'm not confident that I would like the way that the like double taps and stuff would work.
Oh yeah,
but I don't know. I love the idea of using Google Docs in a comfortable form factor with a keyboard and mouse or whatnot. I know this dream has been out there for a long time. This is not the first phone to ever do this.
Yeah.
But it feels close because the Razer phone was so impressive for gaming. We'll see. Some things
we're getting there.
Never. Yeah, that's the thing. And we've been promised this stuff, and the next thing on the list is another thing we've been promised forever, but for some reason I'm a little more optimistic this time. Hey, we got Night Fox joining us. What's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, so NVIDIA, it was rolling out betas for their GeForce, and it's called GeForce Now. Mm-hmm. And it's basically cloud-based GPUs. Now, I didn't dig into the nitty-gritty to try to understand what's different between maybe this and PlayStation Now or the way OnLive worked.
Yeah.
But, you're supposed to be able to utilize a cloud GPU to help a Mac play AAA games over a good internet connection. NVIDIA's done so much when it comes to just raw computation and latency related to getting GPU information to display properly. I don't know. Something feels a little different about this. Like, OnLive was a no-name. Gaikai was tech that was bought up by Sony.
All right, yeah.
So, I don't know. NVIDIA feels more prepared to do something like this. You look at the OnLive thing, and I remember when that was going on, they were constantly looking for funding. It was always a question whether they were coming in or out or not. So, if they're worried about that, how worried are they going to be about... or how solid could the tech be at that point? And that was, 2011 or something?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. This many years later, I'm pretty optimistic. I would subscribe maybe to something like that with GPU markets and whatnot. If you had your good work laptop, even if you paid like $5 a month to subscribe to a GPU and you could like rent a GPU, even that level, I would be like, all right. It's going to save me. It's kind of like Photoshop cloud services.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's a subscription, but in the end, you pay about the same amount. So it'd be nice to have like little mini payment plans for a GPU, and you're always kind of up to date. I have no idea if it would work that way, but a pricing model on something that would work, I would totally consider that. It'd bring our old shitty PCs back to life potentially.
Yeah. Just cloud-based gaming. If it worked at all, I'd be like, hey, right. Good job, guys.
Yes. That's a good point. Just, yeah, if I can ever play Cuphead or Meat Boy or something like that,
right, yeah,
off a cloud-based GPU, I'm in. So this is a pretty cool tidbit, Dustin. What do we got next here?
The game console market, let me put it in the chat, has grown for the first time in 11 years.
I'm a little surprised it wasn't maybe even a little more than that.
Yeah, well,
I guess 2000.
I think it was the Wii that did it.
Yeah, that would make sense. When the Switch is sold faster than the Wii in Japan.
Wow.
Up to this point. It's pretty staggering how fast the Wii is selling.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't... Sony feels so far ahead in terms of number of units that it doesn't feel like Nintendo could ever catch them.
Yeah.
But they're selling faster than the PS4 did. I wonder how long it'll keep up.
I would say it shows no signs of stopping for the foreseeable future. Like, Nintendo would have to do something like EA levels of stupid before people stopped.
Yeah. Like, decide to not bring out Pokemon or something like that, or microtransaction Pokemon. Yeah, that's cool.
They make an Earthbound 1, 2, and 3 compilation, and then they don't release it.
Okay.
Like, here it is for the Switch, and then
they announce it and never...
Reggie Fils-Aimé just breaks it right there. This was the only copy.
Like a villain in an 80s like TV show. The thing that I like most about hearing this is that you and I like to, I don't know, play games with a controller and on a TV and stuff like that. And we'll sit at a computer, but we like the console experience a lot. But didn't it feel over the last several years that it was shrinking as far as people that like to play games that way? And that,
yeah, absolutely, people
distract themselves with mobile games or Hearthstone or whatever.
Yeah, between DS and phone games, tablet games, like we're more of an exception than a rule.
Assuredly. It's really cool to, in my mind, to see consoles sitting down and playing on a TV or a monitor as there was a spike in interest in that. We're not this dwindling curmudgeon-y like turning into old men. We can slowly watch the transition. And that's good because we love to play games. So I like hearing this, and I like that hardware is selling for everybody.
Yeah.
I like that Sony's done well. And Tony got that Xbox. Remember that crazy bought 10,000 bags of Doritos or whatever he did to get a Xbox?
Right, yeah.
It got delivered today. I haven't talked to him since, but he told me this morning that it was going to get delivered. I was like, hell yeah, man.
That's awesome.
He ended up paying like $200 for a Xbox One X.
That's pretty good. Those things are $500, right? 500?
Yes, 500. Yeah, Night Fox says those sound like Bond villains. I agree. He says, hey, I have a kick-ass gaming PC, but I still prefer my console. It's a dedicated game versus a PC is a workhorse, too. Zarek says, I'm here. Do you know the way?
That is a reference to something called Ugandan Knuckles.
Okay.
And I have no idea. I haven't Googled it or anything. I just saw one of Zarek's tweets.
Okay.
And it said hashtag Ugandan Knuckles, and he was in a storm drain, like in It.
Was it Knuckles, like from Sonic Knuckles?
Yeah, yeah.
I saw some weird memes going around with a weird looking Knuckles. I wonder if that was related. I thought it was just a silly tweet that was passing, but I saw a couple of them.
It must be a new thing. But I did share on Twitter a picture of when Solly and I got a selfie with Zarek.
That was great.
And he did not
I know.
Like it. So apparently I made him angry.
He doesn't like being accused of photobombing, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the latest of the kid memes, so Zarek's keeping us young.
Oh, okay. He's probably in talks with the lawyers right now.
We slandered him by or not slander. We infringed on his you infringed on his brand. So Zarek, check your mentions. Dustin put an amazing tweet together for you. So the next thing, and I'm not going to talk about this much for a couple reasons. One, Dustin, I don't think you've had a chance to cover any of this or see it. It's a straightforward issue, but can get pretty complicated as far as the details of it. But essentially, it's been pointed out that EA, good old EA, starting off the year is just strong. They have a new feature called Dynamic Difficulty Adjustment. And essentially what it does is it doesn't work the same way, but it's a lot like what Activision did as far as trying to pair you with better players so you constantly lose and are tempted to be more engaged to pay to win kind of stuff. And this seems very manipulative. That they changed the difficulty just enough to get you to be more engaged. And the justification for keeping the engagement is because of the monetary gain that is from this practice. And it was found, there's a paper that someone found and published it on Reddit or whatnot, and it's 5 or 6 EA employees that outline a very detailed way of how manipulating players to get engaged increases your profits. Jim Sterling did an incredible video that really outlines everything, and it's really good. There's also on Ars Technica, there's there's a YouTuber that broke the story, so I want to try to give them credit. EA Dynamic, what did I say it was? Difficulty? Let's try to find that YouTuber that did that.
Was it Young Yi?
Yes, it was. Thank you very much. Faster than me. Yeah, it's crazy. There's a Reddit post that I will also link, and the too long didn't read up top is EA are definitely in the business of dynamic difficulty adjustment, and a lot of what is in the papers below reflects the experiences of people in FIFA. So, kind of braggadocious about, hey, if your goal is not to put out a good product, but to make money, they're killing it. They're doing great. They really are. It's just, you go from Japan buying a bunch of gaming consoles to people being manipulated to spend more money. Man, I just wish that there was a more straightforward approach to the pricing thing. I understand making money. I really do. And I don't... I'm not opposed to having to grind in video games. But I am... I've heard an argument where people say that related to loot boxes and having to grind versus pay, people act like they'll draw an analogy to sports where they'll say something like, hey, you wouldn't expect to just walk onto a football field and be good. You got to practice and get good, right?
Yeah.
But there isn't an option. There's not a vendor walking up to the football field where I can be like, hey, here's $1,000. I'm good now.
Right.
But it's Jim Sterling does a great job. I'm sure that do you have any thoughts on just a non-straightforward approach like this, the dynamic difficulty adjustment?
The difficulty adjustment is actually really cool when not attached to money. Like, I know games that do that. I think Max Payne does that.
Okay.
I watched a little bit of the video, and Jim Sterling mentioned Crash Bandicoot did it. So, like, if it's in-game and you're helping to curb frustration or improve the challenge for people who are getting really good, that's awesome. If you're just using it as a way to make money, then that's less awesome. Your game is not going to be as good.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's not inherently bad,
right?
To do it, and in fact, it's awesome, like you had pointed out. I mean, this could, if Cuphead would have had this, they wouldn't have had the elitist problem. The game would know, although we would know. I would be like, hey, after 5 minutes, I'm definitely able to beat it.
Here's what they need to do. They need to update Cuphead with an Itagaki-like difficulty selection, where in the old Ninja Gaiden for Xbox,
okay,
you could pick like Ninja Dog. Like, yeah, you can make this easier, but I'm going to insult you.
Okay.
So it was intentionally like, yeah, you're a piece of crap because you're picking the easy. You suck.
Okay.
You should feel bad about yourself.
See, that would just play into those crazy people's mindset. They make, see?
Exactly.
All right. Bravo. I'm with you.
They could call it the Fleischer setting.
Oh, all right. Now you're really poking the hornet's nest. It's funny. Yeah. And now, because I love Cuphead so much and that story frustrated me so much, I was watching something about Superman, and they were talking about the Fleischer cartoon. I'm like, oh man, like, is Superman racist now? I hate that even enters my mind, but I can't help it. It just, like, are people going to be mad? It was weird. Like, I caught myself like preemptively being frustrated just because that word now means like, people are going to have an unfair association with it. I'm getting too triggered, Dustin. Zarek found it. There's a problem with his Twitter having images. It loaded. Sweet. So like that shit.
Now you have a background for your phone.
Would that be really weird if an internet guy put a picture of you and your son on his phone? Zarek would be okay. I would.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that. What a world, Dustin.
Right.
So the next thing made me think of you. And also, while you're talking about this next topic, I'm going to try to find something for you.
Okay. There are now 3D printed game carts, like the outer shell.
Yeah, so you have a 3D printer, you can like put your own homebrew carts in there, or you can flash your own chips and stuff.
And one thing I noticed is the stuff that they 3D print, like the material, looks really cool.
It's that like gray kind of.
It has like a weird, almost like the crystals you see underground. What are those called?
Oh, that are like on people's like end tables and stuff.
Yeah, it has kind of a pattern like that, or like bismuth, or some of the weird like crystalline.
I know what you're talking about. They're wildly expensive, and they're like crystals inside a rock. Right? Yeah. I forget what those are called. Well, anyways, I guess the thing I was looking for, and I'll just send you the link to the whole video, but so Bob at Retro RGB, which is where I found the 3D printing cart story, because he did a little segment that was like, hey, you know, people talk about Game Gear carts being able to be really cheap so you can crack them open and just do whatever you want with them. But he's like, there's a finite amount of those. So it'd be great if we didn't, even if it's $1 a cart that no one's going to be interested in. You know, here it's on the side of preservation. But there was a really strange adapter, but I didn't have time to watch the segment, for PC Engine and TurboGrafx 16 things. And I believe, yes, that's what I thought you'd react. I think that it's like an adapter that lets you maybe have like EverDrive capabilities or something with it.
Cool.
It was a really interesting thing, so I'll make sure to get that linked for you. But I was like, wow.
Geodes. Zero got it. Geodes.
Which is the...
crystals. The rock crystals.
Thank you. Geodes. I thought that was a typo. I was like, Goeds. My my reading abilities are not great today. So
it reminds me of Black Sheep when they were getting high on the NOS, and they were like roads, rudes.
God, I have not seen that in so long. Yeah, man, I wish I would have watched this. Exactly what this adapter thing is, but it looked really cool. So I'll send that over to you. Yeah, geodes, that's what they were called. Next up, at CES, I think it was at CES. Either way, Hyperkin came out, and they're going to make a new Game Boy.
Yep.
Cool.
It looks pretty cool. It's made of aluminum. Backlit.
Backlit, made of aluminum. Yeah, it was from CES.
It's made for people who want to make music with Game Boys.
Which is really cool. Mm-hmm. This is perfect for the music that we like to play at the end of this podcast every week.
Yeah. Now I can finally start my SoundCloud account.
You can just log into ours, man. Help. I need to get you on our SoundCloud, and I need to get you on our Instagram. You take your pick.
I can take a picture of myself making music on a Game Boy.
Meta. And only the people watching the show would know what we were talking about. Otherwise, it's just out of context weirdness. We are up to 36 followers on Instagram, man. We've pretty much made it.
Dude.
We started with 4. Now we're up to 36. So, before you know it...
Bottom. Now we're here.
Before you know it, it'll all be hashtag ad. Yeah, so follow us on Instagram. I do try to post neat pictures. Mostly, like 90% of it's video game stuff. I've snuck a couple of...
tasteful nudes.
Yep. Kinda. I mean, it was like gear porn. Like, I put up like a new, install a new needle on my turntable.
Ooh, yeah.
And the Jaws soundtrack, the vinyl has like a light blue tint to it with kind of a wavy look to it, so it looks like water, but like real subtly, not like that pattern that they put at the bottom of like a kiddie pool to make it look like it was. It's not like that, but it had a really neat contrast on top of the new needle. So maybe I'll start just. Tasteful nudes will be in the hashtag of everything I post.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. See, this is why I need your help on social media, man. You get us to 40 followers in no time. Oh, shit, that's great. So
I've been rocking it on the Twitter.
Who has? We have?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some more followers. We're getting more likes and... interaction when your retweets have been really good.
Yeah,
that's really what it comes down to. So next up, Dustin, I saw the story. You have to talk about it because it reminded me of basically what you're going to be starting here any day now.
It's a glimpse into my future. Funny dad story. It's a father whose Xbox One had stopped working, and he just upgraded his TV. So he was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to void this warranty. It's already over anyway. I'm going to crack open this thing and find out.
But the Netflix worked. Like,
right.
All digital stuff worked. It was just the CD drive.
It was just the disk drive. It wasn't working. So he was like, I'm going to crack this thing open. We're going to get it going. So he actually does a pretty good job detailing like the disassembly, and how he was going to replace his drive from one on eBay, and he cracks open this drive, and it has 3 different discs in it, and on top of that, the discs are like somehow glued together,
like
but with like food.
Yeah, like icing or something.
Yes, that's what it looks like. Pink cake icing. So yes, he had to disassemble his $500 game system so that he could get the 3, like, I think it was Transformers.
There's Transformers, Trolls, and
Max Steel.
What was it?
Max Steel, I think.
Oh yes, that's what it was. It's kind of like a robot fighting movie. Oh yeah, Zarek says that would be a great episode title, but it will be grabbed by YouTube censors bot instantly. You know, we got dinged last week. I had kill in the title of the episode, and so we were immediately, so the stream was monetized and the archive was monetized, and the second I put the joke with kill in the title, we called last episode "Kill Them with Flexing" because that was a funny line, and luckily we're right on that cusp of whether we even can get someone to review our shit manually, and luckily someone reviewed it and approved it, and we got a notification that after manually being reviewed, it was not bad. It was deemed for good for all advertisers. So Zarek is right, and I will have to be more aware of that. It doesn't matter now because we get like so few views, it doesn't make any monetary impact, but if we ever would get lucky and take off, I would have to be wary of that, because a lot of our ability to pay for our domain and the hosting and all that kind of stuff comes from our YouTube ad revenue, and it's mostly our old videos from like years ago that still get views. Like 2013 is subsidizing this podcast right now.
Oh, those iPhone videos.
Those iPhone reviews, yeah. Worked. Plants vs. Zombies on the DS, still a hot video. Ordering Chaos on the iPad. It's funny. Our channel has, we hit 7.5 million views total on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
Like 8 videos have all of them, pretty much.
Right, yeah.
Now, we actually, you know, it is fun. If you go, when we do go back and look through, there are some old videos that have gotten enormous amounts of views relative to the last time we checked on them.
Yeah.
Like we have a couple that I would think, maybe we hit 1,000, and I'll check, there'll be like 50,000 views on it. Like, whoa.
Whoa. All
right, cool. So, yeah, watch. I also found it funny in the story that the dad said, "This is why I don't have vinyl." So you can tell, like, he was. Didn't he say his sons just love circles?
Yeah,
and that's the problem. Oh yeah, Zarek is right. He says it's not just about ad revenue; it also can hurt your search engine optimization. So we don't want people that are looking for a gaming podcast to not have us show up because I had a joke with the word "kill" in the title.
So I should kill the plans for my new YouTube series called Rock Hard Dick Murder.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, roll with it. Whatever.
Right. We'll see what happens.
What are you going to do?
Once we get over 100,000, it probably...
That's when we're really toast. That's when they really microscope you. Just yeah. So, I sent that to all my buddies that are into gaming that have children. They all thought it was pretty funny.
Yes.
And then, that's it, because we talked about Cyberpunk 2077's account beeping. So, awesome. Well, without Josh here this week, we do not have a discussion topic, which is okay because I'm a little short on time this week. So, Dustin, let's talk about the YouTube channel of the week.
Channel of the week. Okay, so we're going to do... Which one of these have we done before? We've done the Gaming Brit, right?
We did Avalanche. I didn't delete it. The rest of them, I think, were clean.
Okay.
Gaming Brit maybe, but who cares? We allow repeats.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go with the Gaming Brit.
Before you talk about the Gaming Brit, though.
Okay.
I watched GameSack's video on the Sharp X68000.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys are great. We've talked about them before.
Yes.
It's a really great look at that system.
Right.
What a cool system, dude. You were
I want one so bad.
I see why. It's really cool.
So bad I want one. I've been eyeballing Akamajo Dracula.
I was going to say, Densetsu's even I know that. That's one of the few that I would understand. That's Castlevania 3.
I've been eyeballing it on the Sharp X68000. Is like complete. It's like $300.
Yeah, but whenever you buy it, it will, within a year, get up to $500. It's just how it works.
But see, I'm looking at it, I'm like, that is worth every penny. I would totally buy that.
No, I was going to make a joke related to Simon somehow tying into being in the Castlevania Chronicles release in the 68. I couldn't tie it together. It was there. I missed. So, okay, so we got the Gaming Brit. Is who we're going to talk about this week?
Yes. He does game reviews, and they're humorous. And the video I have in here is the Overblood video. The Overblood is it's a ridiculous PlayStation 1 game.
Ridiculous in difficulty, or it's a silly game like Kojima ridiculous?
It is ridiculous in its like mid-90s voice acting quality.
All right. I'm on board
slash like Resident Evil trying to rip off Resident Evil. No, I said that backwards. My inner Yoda is coming out.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. The terrible dialogue was an in-joke in Resident Evil? I've had the meme wrong the whole time.
Memeception. But yeah, the Gaming Brit. It's good reviews. Overblood video.
Hell yeah. So check out the Gaming Brit. I'll have them linked in the YouTube description as well as the podcast description. So wherever you get the podcast, whether it's through our site or a podcast catcher, you'll have you'll be able to click on that link and go watch the video. So let's talk about what you've been playing. It looks like a little foreshadowing here. I promise I was not looking at your notes when I just talked about
I played some Castlevania Chronicles again.
Oh, yeah?
Because I'm making my way slowly through that game.
Downtown.
Slowly, because that game is incredibly hard.
Okay.
So I was stuck on level, I think it's 4. It's hard to tell because in Castlevania, every time you go through a door, the stage goes up.
Kind of like in 3, there's the branching stuff.
Yeah.
3 is a little tough for me to understand because I don't know if I'm on the Grant path or the...
Right.
Whatever.
Right. And it's just like every time you walk through a door, the stage number in the top right goes up.
Okay.
So you haven't beat the first boss, the vampire bat, but you're like on stage 3 because you've gone through 2 doors.
Okay.
So it's super weird.
Oh, weird.
But it's like the fourth or 5th level, and it's actually a remake of the 2nd level from the first game.
Okay.
So it's like the red brick background, the knights going back and forth, the spikes dropping from the ceiling.
Yeah.
That, except it is just all of it. It's remade with middle fingers. Like this game doesn't give a damn about you. Like it is the original Castlevania turned up to 11, and it is awesome.
Which is saying
I
something.
love it.
Oh, I bet you do.
It is so good.
You mentioned last week that it didn't. Sometimes it was cheap, but I mean, if you're still playing it, it can't be.
Yeah.
That bad.
Like I finally beat Medusa, which is that level's boss.
Okay.
And I got to the clock tower, and the clock tower has parts where it reminds me a great deal of Ninja Gaiden. Like you have to know something is coming.
Oh, okay.
If you don't know what's coming, it's going to hit you.
Yeah, Contra's got some stuff like that in it. Must be just Konami design principle.
It's not so bad that it will throw you into a pit.
Okay.
But you have at the level that I'm at, every hit is 4 hit points. So you get hit 4 times, you're dead. You get hit twice, half your health is gone.
Damn. But, yeah. And just to be clear, I know Ninja Gaiden was not made by Konami. I know it's like Tecmo or whatever. Just
right. Yes.
So, but it's just. Zarek says the Mario lost levels of Castlevania.
Kinda.
Mario lost levels sucks.
Yeah, it's like a ROM hack. It's not good. This is awesome, but it's still like. It's like it's going to knock you down and then pee on your face.
If you have athlete's foot, that's a nice favor, I guess. So, it says something if you've got it on the show notes 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Now, is it more your lust to 6,800 or 68,000 that you're tolerating this difficulty?
That might maybe a little bit.
Okay.
But I was watching a video of it, and I was like, man, this looks great. Why haven't I played this game? I've owned it for a million years. So I got to playing it, and I was like, this game is awesome. This game is awesome. I don't want to stop playing it.
Yeah,
but I have to stop playing it because I get very angry.
The reason I found the GameSack video is because I just wanted to see gameplay of this Castlevania on the 68,000, and that video came up because that was one of the things that they discussed. I was like, all right, cool. And then also you've dug some more into I Am Setsuna.
A little bit. It's that game's the story seems like it's Final Fantasy X.
Did you play Final Fantasy X?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Where you're walking Yuna all over the place.
Sure.
It seems like it's that, but with a lady named Setsuna.
Okay. The thing that turned me off most about I Am Setsuna, I would still play this game, but it seems to take place all in a winter level.
Yes, Setsuna has something to do with snow in Japanese.
Oh, okay.
And maybe that has like themes of like isolation or.
It's just as rare for me to like an ice level.
Aloof. Yeah.
I don't.
If you're in an ice level, if you make an ice level and put it in your game, the music has to be perfect.
Yeah, because there's always that slippery floor bullshit. There's always that mechanic changing thing,
right?
Which I don't mind. It's not as bad as going underwater or anything like that. But yeah, I tend to not like those as much. And it's not an always scenario. I like Mario 2 when there's slippery, icy stuff that shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is an amazing game, so it's not inherently bad. Like underwater levels are almost inherently bad. You're really behind an 8 ball if you're like, we're going underwater. So yeah, any other thoughts on the game? I know you talked about it a good bit last week in its relation to Chrono Trigger, with mechanics and stuff.
I'm not super invested in the story, but the mechanics are pretty cool. I'm digging the mechanics.
I feel like that's pretty on par with what I remember hearing about the game.
Yeah.
They're making more, and I love the idea that there's a whole small team dedicated to making this style of RPG.
Yeah.
And
one more criticism I have to level at this game. It's the same thing I had to say about Breath of the Wild, is the soundtrack is entirely piano. And I get what they're going for. They're going for like an austere kind of sound for these games because it fits with the setting.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to hear just piano for hours and hours. Especially Breath of the Wild. It sounded like somebody was just noodling on a piano.
Yes, but I mean that's intentional. You're supposed to. I believe that the idea is that you stop hearing it. As counterintuitive as that sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like if you have a grandfather clock in your house, you stop hearing the tones on the hour.
Mm-hmm.
Because it will drive you nuts if you're putting 80 hours into the game or whatnot.
I don't know.
I see your point.
I noticed it. I was like, it sounds like a cat is running across a piano at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I said supposed to. Zarek says, I think underwater Donkey Kong country levels were home runs. Yeah, those, especially the music. I know, especially in the first one, everyone loves the music in the underwater levels. He says, I don't like other games' water levels, though. You know, that's something that I did like about Mario Odyssey, was how terrible Mario is in the water until you use the cap on one of the fly fish things or whatever.
Yeah.
And he turns into a little sub and it controls well then. And I would play Abzu. Someday I'll play that. I have that free somewhere. I remember Drew Scanlon really liking that.
Oh, dude, I booted up Steam for like the first time in forever.
Yeah?
I was looking through my list, like, dude, I didn't know I owned all these games. That's great.
It's probably a trip for you because, yeah, you rarely turn on your PC for any sort of gaming stuff.
Yeah, I thought about playing through Fear, but then I didn't.
You looked at that backlog of the to-do list you still have?
I was just like, man, I want to play this, but I don't want Solomon walking in and I'm just shooting dudes in the face.
Yeah, that'd be a little scary.
Well, the reason is because now he's smart. He doesn't walk in and stand beside me and go, hey, what are you doing? He walks in and stands where he can see, but I can't see him, so he can watch.
Because he knows.
Yeah, because he knows I'm going to say, hey, what are you doing? I'm murdering people over here. You can't watch.
The dynamic of being a dad is just so crazy to me. Cool. Well, I played some more Samus Returns on the Nintendo 3DS.
Okay.
And I get stuck, I get lost, and then I set the game down and come back to it later and end up somehow making progress or noticing something I didn't before. I still like it. I've got a couple hours into it. It's fun. I don't know. I'm glad I got it for Christmas. It was a nice gift.
I wish they'd remake the Castlevania game they made for the 3DS and make it good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, to make it good. The Lords of Shadow tie-in one.
Yeah.
I bought that. It was terrible. It's one of the few games I was willing to sell back.
Yeah. That was a bummer because I like what they did with Simon Belmont in that game.
Aren't Simon and Trevor both in that or something like that? Or isn't there one of them captured or something? Yeah. That's very interesting. I thought they were like 500 years apart before that game.
Let's see, Trevor was his grandfather.
Oh, okay. Oh, because is Castlevania 3 a prequel, right? Is that?
It is.
Okay.
I think so in 3 he was his grandfather, and the one they made, Mercury Steam, he was his father.
Okay. That's fine. It's video game lore. You can fudge it.
Yeah.
Especially if the game's fun. The 3DS game was a 2D version. If you're not familiar, it was called Gates of Shadows or something. I don't know. It had like Gate, I think, in the title.
Lords of Shadow, Mirror of Fate.
There you go. Wow. Impressive. It was like a 2D interpretation of the God of War on hardware that couldn't handle the amount of graphics that they were trying to put in. So you could only have 1 or 2 enemies on the screen at a time. So it was very slow paced, very redundant. Not a fun exploration game.
Yeah, they tried to make like a Metroidvania and it just didn't work.
Yeah. I applaud the efforts, and it would have been great for that to be good. I would love, I'm with you there though, a good Castlevania game on the 3DS would be awesome. It's too bad that we got one and it stunk. Maybe the Switch, maybe they'll, I don't know, maybe they'll do something.
Maybe they'll do like a Castlevania anthology.
That'd be cool.
And it'll be all the games on one disc.
Like, it's Konami, man. They're not gonna.
I mean, the Yakuza has to make money too.
That's true.
I heard, this is completely anecdotal, so if it's wrong, don't dox me, people. But I heard that someone okay, they threw a party, a going away party for Kojima at Konami. Konami denied it. Someone took a picture of it and uploaded it, and they like went over the photo to find out who took the picture and punished them for it.
Damn.
Right?
That makes those... That kind of makes the fun things with Mind OTs getting the Castlevania vinyls that much more interesting.
Right?
Like, how... Somebody that was allowed to have free thought over there was in a position of power and like vinyl. I was looking for the Back to the Future soundtrack and it's sold out.
Oh.
I don't want, man. I can get 2 and 3, but I want 1.
I can't wait for Rondo Blood and Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, that'll be sweet. Those are, I mean, the Jaws vinyl's excellent and that Contra vinyl's excellent. So and the prices are really reasonable. I think $35 or whatever.
Yeah,
for a custom run, like small batch. I'm all right with that. Yeah, and then I'm everything I look at in my house is up for sale now. It's consuming my thoughts. I'm like, do I need that? Can I put that on eBay? Everything I look at is, can I put that on eBay? I've fallen in love with a. You ever change your mind about a brand?
Yes.
I had that happen with Epiphone guitars. I'd always looked at them as the generic, not Nikes, but the Mikeys, or the great value. And I mean, it is like they're Asian made guitars. They're not made here in the States. Like, you know, a lot of the expensive Gibsons and stuff are. And Gibson, it just looked like the knockoff, even though Gibson owns Epiphone. But they, yeah, their higher end ones are really affordable and have a tremendous amount of features. And for someone like me that has no interest in playing even in front of anybody, like maybe my brother, like just for me noodling around, these are like sweet and really affordable. So I'm looking like, man, I'd rather have that Epiphone than that and that. I even got to the point where I was looking at carts. Like,
ooh,
like, do I get rid of Secret of Mana? Do I sell Chrono Trigger? Right? Like, I didn't, but it crossed my mind. I heard that N64s are selling them for a lot.
Ooh, all right.
That I would gladly part with all of my Nintendo 64 games, except for one. My friend gifted me Majora's Mask. I won't get rid of that for sentimental reasons.
Okay.
But otherwise, like, man, I haven't played my N64 probably more than an hour myself since I bought the thing. And I have it hooked up for when my brother comes over. And that's it. So, like, I looked on eBay. They're still cheap.
Oh, okay.
It's just retail. They're expensive.
How often do you play Super Mario 64?
Never.
Ooh, no, you need to fix that.
But I have Odyssey now.
Yeah, I know, but Super Mario 64 is excellent in a different way.
That's true. And it holds up. I still enjoy playing that.
Yeah, that game is amazing.
But the remake for that is not in the same class as like what they did with Legend of Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Like those 3DS ports are incredible, and the DS version of N64 sucks. But there still are ways to play the game if I need to.
Not with that controller, though.
Correct. But do I want to hold on to a controller that I've used for an hour, or do I want a new guitar?
The controller.
The guitar.
With Mario 60, you can't play Mario 64 on an Epiphone, can you?
You can't. But I also can't play Led Zeppelin on an N64. How am I gonna learn my hot licks, man?
Oh, you know what needs to happen?
What?
Somebody needs to make a guitar that's a controller.
I'm sure.
I want to see somebody beat Castlevania with an Epiphone.
There have been crazy Guitar Hero. Would that count for you? or do you need a MIDI input from a guitar?
I want like a legit guitar.
Okay.
Also, imagine the music you would make if you're just
plucking around. It'd probably be terrible unless you could set a key. Then it would be good. I have a USB to like a 1/4-inch jack that came with a guitar video game for the PS3. You know, I should do a video on that. I was supposed to like 4 years ago. It's called Band Fuse Rock Legends. And you hook your guitar into your PS4 or PS3 and it comes through your speakers, but I have a shitty like low-end Panasonic surround sound system, so it really is garbage, but I remember it being pretty fun. Like it'd have some corny songs on it, like Duncan Sheik, I'm Barely Breathing. But it taught me to play that song, and it knows whether you're in key or not, or in tune or not, and it has an automatic tuner thing for you, so it's really easy to stay tuned.
Cool.
Yeah, maybe. Of course, then you would hear me playing guitar, and I'm very self-conscious about how I play. But under the like guise of I'm goofing around for a video, it might be kind of fun.
What if you made a guitar that played games like a controller, and you played Wizard of Oz, and as you were beating it, it was Pink Floyd?
All right, we can get real silly with this. All right. So you need to ace this PowerShell stuff soon so you can move on to C#. Okay? I'll start looking at Unity. You learn how to code.
Yeah. Can't be that hard, right?
No. I mean, everyone codes. Right?
Month launches, right? That's what the book is.
All right. Let's go to lynda.com or whatever and sign up for some courses.
Yeah. 1 hour video, you're good. Hell, we can watch it at 1.5 speed. Won't even take that long.
That's true. All right.
Knock this out.
YouTube might even have 2 times now.
Ooh.
Zarek says, I've been spending a lot of time thinking about Bloodstained. They last announced a release date. It was March. That's so close. I hope it's good.
They email me updates all the time, and I never read them. So I'm just like, whatever. Send me my game when it's done.
But that's cool. They're doing it the right way. They're doing it in the spirit of how crowdfunding is supposed to work.
Yeah.
Unlike Watermelon Games, who, right, when am I supposed to have Paprium, like, by now?
But that commercial
is amazing. And PayPal did freeze their accounts. Supposedly, it's coming in. They're making progress. But I think in March, it'll have been 6 years since I ordered that game.
Man. Oh, Henshin Engine ran into some trouble, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had to change it to something Unit Yuki, PC Unit Yuki, or something. Yeah, it was some sort of title legality stuff they had to go back and redo.
Weird. I think that's it as far as games and all that kind of stuff are concerned. Yeah. Maybe I'll be playing more this week. I've decided I'm going to restart Owlboy.
Okay.
That 8-bit Do controller, that Bluetooth controller I got that works on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
And I want the game on the Switch. It doesn't make any sense for me to do that. We'll see if I can keep my temptation at bay next month to order that game. But I'm using the exact same controller with my Steam Link. I'm playing the same game in the same spot on the same TV with the same controller with cloud saves.
But
are
you playing a physical copy?
No, and in fact, I'm annoyed by physical media now. Unless it's old. Like
I quit the show. I quit.
Come on, you've known me as a digital hoarder for how long?
That's true.
Now if it's something analog, I find it really fascinating to watch work. I still don't understand how records work. I mean, I understand the principles. I just don't believe it. It's wizardry. Like, even the fact that you can't see the needle moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in 15 minutes, it travels several inches. I don't know. It's a cool thing. But I loved video game carts when I was a kid. I coveted that plastic.
Yeah.
I don't covet these little SD cards that taste bad. I don't covet the lack of a manual. For a Nintendo first party, though, I do want it. And I'm hoping that there's like a double pack where I can buy Axiom Verge and Owlboy in like not the same case, but someone cellophanes them together, and it's like $40. Here you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you can buy Tiny Barbarian. That has a manual and a keychain.
A full color manual.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That Mega Cat Studios NES game that I needed to do an unboxing for had a full color beautiful manual, which they just did an interview with the Retro League. Rob Anderson interviewed the game composer.
Cool.
Which I thought was a really good interview. It's a nice 15-minute interview. It's cool. Eric says, I love the idea of Scott yells lies at a record player. Yeah, the machine is clearly magic. It blows me away. Just the subtleties of how good it. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. I was looking at the because hi-fi is really coming on strong now.
Mm-hmm.
That receiver there's one of them on eBay now, and it's like $500.
All right.
And the reason I was looking was my brand is Technics by Panasonic, and I was never really familiar with that name, but back in the day, that was a high-end like audiophile brand.
Cool.
Technics is being revived by Panasonic, and at CES they announced the most expensive turntable of all time. It's $20,000.
For what?
That's yeah, right. At some point, there's diminishing returns.
Good gravy.
But they're selling a $10,000 version that doesn't come with the arm. Like, the audiophiles are so nuts that like they're picky about their arms, so they know that.
Right.
I think it's kind of like Intel's thought process,
Mm-hmm.
where they're like, look, anyone buying our high-end chips is throwing a graphics card in that PC as well. We're not doing integrated graphics on these level of chips anymore.
Yeah.
Of course, now they're back with AMD Vega, which is really strange. That chip finally released, where AMD is doing the graphics for Intel on the same chip. Isn't that weird?
Right. Perfect sense.
But yeah, right. It would be like Coke bottling Pepsi for Pepsi. It seems really strange.
Oh, you know what you should do?
What?
You should sell your receiver and then buy that super graphics.
All right, done. No, I've been surprised at how much I listen to those vinyl records. It feels. I have like a small ranch house, so my living room kind of bleeds into my kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
and like while I'm cooking something, I'll just like play, side one of Synchronicity, and it fills the house so nicely. It's like, this is a fun. Just feels good to play. I don't know.
Mine does not do that, but I listen to it almost every night.
Isn't it a fun? See, you'll be hypnotized. Try to watch it. Try to look at it and believe what's going on. It does not compute.
It's before, like when I first got it, and I sat down and started listening to. I think it was the Snatcher soundtrack. I was like, man, when was the last time I just sat down and listened to music?
Exactly.
Just listen to music, just nothing else. I couldn't think of the last time I did that. It's been years and years.
And there's a whole ritual to it, and you're committed. You can't just skip the song if you're a little bored. You have to resist it. You made a comment last week when you were joking about ripping the CD or ripping the vinyl to your computer to put on your phone, and then use just the speaker to play the vinyl rip from your phone. This actually, that makes a little more sense than it should. Because then you're not wearing down the vinyl.
Right, yeah.
So, but you're still hearing it.
Yeah.
But again, you'd skip. You don't want to do that. But there's actually an argument to be made. Like if you got you spent $20,000 and got a sealed Beatles White Album or something like that. You know that it's never been played. You play it one time to rip it, and you put that back away. Just, I would open a Beatles unopened record just to piss off people.
Oh, I would
I'm not a Beatles fan, so I would gladly open that up and practice my record scratching on like a first print White Album.
I would like when you go to pull it out, put your hand on it as much as possible.
Yes. Just yeah. Boy, you want to talk about a downvote, you could compete with that Call of Duty space battle trailer.
Oh,
or
yeah.
Ghostbusters. You could really get up there with that downvote ratio.
Yeah.
If you're destroying.
I think people would probably try to kill me if I did that. Like, literally would try and find me and kill me.
There would be a cause for concern. Or at least would try to hurt you in some way.
Mm-hmm.
They would make sure that Brazil transaction went through.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I never got into the Beatles.
Same.
Maybe it's a genetic thing. Like, my mom was the same way. And I'm surprised that she doesn't like them more. My brother is the same way. My dad's kind of indifferent. So, yeah, that's going to be it for what we've been playing this week. Yeah, so I guess let's wrap the show up and call it a night. So I want to thank Ben Landis very much for letting us use his song Through the Forest as our intro music. If you'd like to listen to the audio versions of our podcast, if you're a YouTube person, make sure to check out our website, classicleet.com. Also, we are on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, SoundCloud, all that fun stuff. Zarek says that's sort of like sort of like one of my old video ideas. He says, buy like the top 10 most expensive NES games of all time, and they're all repro cards. Open them, ripping the boxes and stuff, toss them aside. Yeah, I want to do it for real. Trust me, people don't keep these anyways. Yeah, that'd be funny. Like manuals. Why do they even waste their money on manuals? And you could say like game developers are so much smarter now, not wasting all that paper. Just give me a PDF link. But yeah, if you like audio versions of the podcast, if you'd like to listen in your car or whatnot, or maybe while you're working out. We had someone listen on a fishing trip once and like marathoned a bunch of episodes early on. It was really cool. Maybe like Tecmo Balls or someone like that. But I was like amazed. I'm going to spend a weekend on a boat listening to like early episodes of us. It's like, wow. Sorry. But our whole archive is on our website. You can get every episode, and the last 100 or so show up on the RSS feed. So if you go to like Google Play or any of those places or iTunes, you'll find it. On social media, our handle is Classic L337. And we're active on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud. If you'd like to support the show, we have Amazon affiliate links. So if you go to amazon.com/shop/classicleet, Classic L337, you'll see our storefront, and anything that you purchase from Amazon while you're there, we'll get some credit for. There's also links in our description if you don't want to remember that URL. Yeah, and subscribe or share, rate us, help us with our SEO. That's way more important than our financial stuff, because we are covered for 2018. We have earned a couple $100, so we are good on that front.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's free for us, so it's free for you. It has to remain free for you. I don't think we would get too many people that would be like, I'll subscribe to it. I'll pay for that. So, I guess that's going to be it for the show this week. Justin, any final thoughts before I talk about some awesome chiptunes?
When I was in elementary school, somebody once told me that using cheat codes in video games was illegal, and for like half a second, I was like scared. I thought like the Contra police were gonna kick in my door.
Dude, I love that. Like it's like contraband to have this knowledge.
Yeah.
Imagine if you learned that and then you stumbled into watching 1984. Oh. If you were like 10 years old, you're like, oh my God, there really are video game police out there. They know what I'm thinking. Chick says, oh yeah, I had write my name on the back of the cart right away. That drives me insane. Or when used game stores put their label on the label.
Yeah.
Come on.
Die in a fire if you do that. That is the worst.
Yeah, so I guess that's going to be it for the show this week. Die in a fire if you put stickers on your game labels. For outro music this week, this is one of the dudes from Hello World, which is probably Hello World's two chiptune albums are absolutely stunning. Dustin, they might have a little too much piano for you, but it's not all piano. So, but I'm not playing Hello World. One of the guys has a side project called Octopus, and they have a song called Blue Mod, which is part of a. It's kind of like. It's hard to describe. It's almost like they're part of like some sort of chiptune collective, and it's a foreign language to us. It's POUE.net, and it's like it looks like a GeoCity site.
Okay,
but it feels right. It feels correct. And Octopus. Make sure to follow Octopus on SoundCloud to check out what they have there, as well as to make sure that you see any new Hello World releases. But yeah, it's an Amiga based album. Like, to download the album, it came as a .adf file, which is an Amiga like extension. I'm like, well, I'm not messing around with this.
Cool.
So luckily you can download the song straight from SoundCloud. But yeah, how cool. You get the album. It's free. You get the album, and it's an Amiga, so you need like an Amiga emulator to run it, or you need maybe a PowerShell. In PowerShell, you might be able to write a script that would allow that to work, which would be cool. So, anyways, that's going to be it for the show. Make sure to subscribe and rate us if you enjoyed it. We'd like to thank you very much for listening to episode 261 of the Classic Elite Podcast, and we'll see you next week for episode 262.
Moosh.
And subscribe to Zarek.
Yes.
All right, cool. Zarek, Night Fox, good to see you guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun. Zarek, clutch with the jokes. If I was willing to put selfies on, I would Instagram me, like, looking skeptical at my turntable. and then wait. So, yeah. I'm going to shut down the stream so the archive is nice and... Oh, wait a minute. Okay, cool. Heard from Dumez, and there were not emails to read on air, which is good. I would have felt bad. So, all right, everyone, you guys have a great night, and we'll see you later.
Peace.
Wait a minute. We didn't read any of the feedback.
We didn't.
Do it for next week.
Yeah.